So this is week 7. We're going to be doing biodynamic breath work tonight. So this is kind of a last minute thing. I didn't realize I was actually be doing this until a couple hours ago. So bear with me. It might be a bit clunky, but I was going to kind of do like a box breath and a couple of other these breathing techniques that I'd done previously. And I think week 1 it was. But a lot of these breathing techniques that I was going to do are like kind of like covered in this breathing exercise I just did just now. It kind of like really ties together a lot of like loose ends for me, and like a lot of different areas of my life that have kind of like, I wanted to know what was happening inside my body, what was happening inside of me, like spiritually, mentally, and physically. And this really just like breaks it down well and explains what's going on. So biodynamic breath work is usually used for like trauma, like trauma victims and stuff like that, but not necessarily like trauma like being raped or a car accident. It could be anything, like literally just like trauma from like a fight with someone, or just like, email apnea is like a perfect example of just like the mild trauma that we're just dealing with daily routine. And most mammals have the ability to um, get rid of that excess stress inside them. They naturally do it. Like if you read the book Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, he talks about how ducks, after they get in a fight, they flap their wings and they release that excess energy. Well, sure enough, just like ducks flap their wings, our breathing is our natural way to release our excess energy and to breathe through states of anxiety and stress and trauma. And when we don't do that, it gets built up inside of us. And obviously, the energy doesn't flow and it starts getting stuck in different areas. And that's how disease evolves. So that's what happens generally when we don't, our fight or flight gets activated and we don't consciously deal with the situation. We don't see the full process through to its fruition. And then the energy gets stuck inside of us. So we consciously are breathing through it, because basically our breath is directly connected to how we feel. So if you've ever noticed, like you get in a state of like anxiety or stress, like your breath shortens and your heart starts beating more rapidly. This is literally a response to your body of the stress in the environment. But if you can pull your attention to your breathing and start breathing more slowly and consciously, especially if it's a situation where there's no reason for alarm, there's no reason for stress, like it's something like just emails or just like email apnea, like you can literally just like, okay, this is not something I should be stressed about. Why am I stressing on this? Like literally just start taking deeper breaths into your abdomen, more consciously filling your lungs full of oxygen, and you can literally just breathe your way right through it. So that's kind of what this breath work is doing. Let's see here. So when our breath is kind of like, yeah, it's short and irregular, shallow, like anytime you notice that your breath is altered in any way, it's a good sign that you're probably having some sort of trauma response. A lot of times we don't even realize that we have trauma inside of ourselves until like a certain situation brings that out of us. A lot of times it's such a traumatic experience where like just we black it out and don't even remember about it. And then something will show up in our reality that triggers it. And then all of a sudden you'll start recognizing your breath is changing. And that's always a really good sign. That's why it's so important to pay attention to your breath, because it's going to give you a direct sign like, hey, something's off here. There's something to be looked at here. So because it's our body's natural way of completing that process or fight or flight, because it is a natural part of our biology. It's literally in our DNA to have that response to situations. But if it's not consciously taken care of and seen through, it's going to build up as excess energy in our system. So it's very important to breathe consciously when you're being triggered, and to catch yourself when you're in like a state of not breathing properly. So when trauma is not cleared in your body and is stored in your body, it can build and become chronic. and then disease can occur. It can inhibit your digestive system, your blood circulation, your lymphatic system, etc. Basically, like energy gets trapped and can't flow. And this is something that science is really starting to realize. It's not just, some hippie mumbo jumbo. This is actually real proven stuff now they're figuring out. So, I mean, Buddhists and Tibetan monks have known this for generations, but now science is kind of catching up to it. Like they're climbing the proverbial peak, so to speak. And, Buddha sitting on top, like, hey, I told you guys, like, this is what it's all about. Like, it's just kind of funny how it goes full circle all the time. This information kind of gets buried and then rediscovered. And once again, it's the breath again that brings it all together. So when we get in a state of stress, a lot of times, like our abdomen tightens, like basically in inhibiting our ability to breathe properly. It's kind of like another natural response when we're in a state of stress. And when that's happening, when our abdomen is tightening, we can't breathe properly, and it's just throwing the whole system off. It doesn't allow energy to flow. So it's like when you can be aware of that and loosen your abdomen and loosen that whole area. That's why it's so important when you're doing breathing exercises to really just try and relax and just really just open yourself up inside and just feel fully. Just let that area, your abdomen, loosen up. Because like all of our super important areas, like our head, for example, it has a hard shell around it. It's protected. It's protecting our brain, like just and then our chest area has a chest plate protecting the vital organs in there. Like we all have these protected areas, but the abdomen doesn't have that. So naturally, our natural instinct is to tighten that area, tighten the muscles and the skin around there to protect it. It's a natural response. But in doing so, that can inhibit our ability to process and breathe properly. So once again, it becomes super important to be aware of that. It's a natural process of the body, but we have to be aware of it and when it's needed and when it's not. So it's a scientist, Rake, the 20th century scientist, that he did a study on these 7 belt tension centers, he called them, which is like really funny because it's like actually like they're literally like the 7 chakras. But he's looking at it from a more scientific perspective, that kind of is designating the zones of these belts. And like the first belt is an ocular belt. It's kind of this area here. It includes the eyes, the forehead, like the top of the head, the back of the neck, and back of the head. And then there's the oral belt, which is pretty much here, which is basically your nose, your mouth, your eyes, your tongue. It's like your expression center, pretty much. So this all obviously can all be equated to the chakra, which is pretty much the same thing, but I'm just going to kind of blow through it just because it's a good way to explain it all. So then there's the third center, which is the cervical belt, which is basically the shoulders, the heart, that's the fourth one. So the cervical belt, that's actually the neck and the throat. So kind of like the bottleneck of the whole organism. And then the thoracic belt is the shoulders, the heart, the arms, the back. The heart is kind of like the emotional center of the body. And then diaphragmatic zone, that's kind of like the rib cage and the diaphragm, that whole area. Then the abdominal belt, which is like the kidneys, surrounding areas, or organs and lower back, the abdomen, of course. Then the pelvic belt, which is the pelvis, sex organs, the anus, the legs, the feet, kind of like the grounding center of the body. So basically, you just look at all these things as kind of just like the chakras of the body. It's pretty much the same thing. But when attention is not fully expelled from the body, the process has not fully gone through, like these tensions can get stuck in any of these belts and in any of these chakras. And you'll notice, like if you've had like traumas in certain areas of your life, like something you've had to speak to somebody, you'll notice you'll get like, pain in the throat, or something will happen in your throat. Or like if it's something that you need to be like, maybe like you're getting headaches and stuff, there's probably some sort of trapped energy in your head. So you can kind of look at all these chakras, and like if there's pain or something in those areas, it's kind of probably a good pointer as to, hey, maybe there's some sort of trapped energy in there. So once again, it's all being scientifically proven, what the Buddhists have all known for so long now. So pretty interesting stuff, I thought, all that, because just like I was that's kind of like why I got into all this breathing stuff and like got so hooked on it in the first place. Like I started doing this like Tumo Wim Hof stuff, and I was realizing like I could breathe through these traumatic stress environments, and I was feeling like I was, instead of like having that energy like negatively like impact me and kind of like, you know, that dark feeling you get in that heaviness in your heart, instead of having that feeling, I was actually using that fear and turning it into adrenaline, that I was using it to go surfing, doing something positive, rather than actually letting that negative energy, possible negative energy, because I was kind of transmuting it into a more positive energy, using it for what it's meant to be used for, my fun, my play, which I was going to do. So that's kind of why I got so hooked on it in the first place. It was just like I was just getting so clear headed instead of like scared, which is like complete opposite of what I was used to. So that's kind of like one of these big like aha moments I had when I was doing this breath work earlier today. So unlike other breathing techniques, this technique is not like state altering like Wim Hof and like Sufi breathing. That can definitely alter your states of consciousness pretty easily. And it's kind of like, it's great for its time and its place. I kind of see like Tumo, Wim Hof, and like Sufi breathing like a bit more of an intensive tool for trauma work, just like this is. This is a trauma tool, but like Tumo and stuff like that's a bit more like full on, because you're literally like really getting fight or flight mode activated. Like you're really getting it like revved up and going. Whereas this is going to get like fight or flight activated a little bit, but not so much. It's kind of just like shaking things loose a little bit, so you can kind of like feel it in palpable mouthfuls. Like it's not going to be so much as overwhelming. So it's kind of get things shaked up a little bit, kind of, it's more of an internal tracking state. Like you're going to be in tracking your internal emotions and feelings, kind of like just following the energetic flow of your body. Like it's really about just focusing inwardly and just feeling and just seeing what's coming up inside of you, where it's taking you, not judging anything, just watching it, just really being observant of your inner state. So it's, yeah, it's a flow tracking sensation type breath work. So there's like 6 principles to this breath work. I know I'm talking a lot, but I've kind of got to give it a bit of backstory, so we got some intention to what we're doing. We know where we're going with this breath work. So the 6 principles to this breath work are deep connective breathing. So that's going to be like, you're going to be doing like kind of a body scan when we first start out, and just kind of just watching your body and how it feels, finding your safe place inside of your body, a place of spaciousness, a place of just where you're naturally feeling your breath going. And then you're also going to be like slightly activating your fight or flight um, response, which is also going to be a part of it, because we got to get that energy, that stuck energy moving. We got to shake it up and get things kind of going a little bit. So that's the first principle, is a deep connective breathing. And the second principle is movement. So we're going to be doing a little bit of spinal movement, kind of this spinal undulation. Like it's not going to be a lot of movement. It's kind of just, you know, just kind of slightly just moving around. So our nervous system is where all this energy gets trapped. And obviously those 7 chakras or 7 belts stretch the entire length of the spinal column up to the head. So its entire nervous system is right there. So it's all being trapped in this nervous system. And all the muscles that are around your nervous system are where these is where that energy can be trapped. So by moving your muscles and your spine in that way, you're actually loosening up things in there. So getting it so that flow, that the energy can start flowing through these chakra points and just through these parts of your body once again. So once again, it's just getting the breath going, getting just a little bit of movement, not too much. Just, you're kind of just like softly undulating around, moving, just kind of just, you're feeling more like the movement's coming from within you to out to your peripheral. Like you're not like moving outwardly in, but inwardly out. That's kind of how I want to start feeling that. So that's the second principle of this breath work. And the third principle is touch. So like self-touch, we'll be touching like our heart, we'll be touching our belly, we're gonna be feeling the breath connected in there. We're gonna be feeling like the physical sensations of like safety and security, these places that we're gonna be finding inside of ourselves, these like points of just spaciousness where it just feels home. That's what we're going to be looking for when we're going inside with this. And the fourth principle is going to be sound. So like I was talking earlier to Mariah and her friends there, I was saying it would be a good idea if you have a cellular device or some way of putting on some nice calming music before we get going. It's not necessary, but it can definitely enhance this practice, because sounds and vibration and tone, it impacts us emotionally directly. And we all know that when we hear a song we really like, it's like it brings us back to that moment. So if it's a beautiful music you like to hear, that can really help you kind of shake things up. So I'll give you guys a minute before we get started if you want to get a cell phone out or do something like that. Once again, not necessary, but maybe if you do this in your own personal time, you want to get it kind of set up properly, you can do that. I would provide something on here, obviously, if I could, but I don't know how to do it on Zoom yet. So I apologize for that.
Do you have an extra device? Do you have another device?
I can put my cell phone on here and see if you guys can hear it. That's
We
actually
only, and then we
You
can test.
can also share, share screen. I think I could do it right now. If you have a particular piece of music, I could call up on YouTube that you like, because I can do that from my screen if you want.
okay. Yeah, let's see here.
Noel,
Yeah.
can you Spotify or something like that?
Well, I'm used to YouTube, but whatever. I don't think I have Spotify on my.
Yeah, there's probably a good YouTube of music that goes for a while for breath work. I think there's a lot.
Yeah, just maybe like just an Om mantra meditation or something like that.
You want me to just pick one?
Yeah, just pick one, Noel. Just something that just whatever. I mean, just something that's going to be nice and airy. I mean, can you guys hear that? It sounds like just off my cell phone.
No, I think it
No.
only I'll be on mute anyway.
Yeah, that won't work.
How to do it. So cool.
I could get you a quick lesson as you hit share screen after you've pulled up the video on your on your thing. So I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to go find a YouTube. Just you like, okay, meditation music. Okay, here we go. Meditation music. Here's relaxing music. And all right, that looks pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna and so I'm hitting, just for your information right now, I've called the video up. I'm hitting share screen. Actually, you got to make me a co-host apparently. So what you do is you go to participants. Participants, you hit on my name and there's 3 dots. And it'll say co-host her.
I'm all in Spanish here, so it takes me a second here.
You are the host, so it'll have the word host in parentheses, and then co-host has got to probably look like host.
En español, como se dice.
Right.
Okay. Wait, no. Not that. Just a second here.
This is good. Good for you to
On the spot.
Yeah, you'll be able to do this. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it.
Make interpretation. That's got to be it. So changing. Okay, yeah,
you are the host now. You just made me host, so I'm going to make you. I'll make you co-host just so you.
Okay.
You can
it didn't give me the option to make it co-host, or did it?
Huh. Well, it's not giving. Anyway, I'll do that after I do this. I'll make you host again.
Okay.
Because it's not giving me the option to make you co-host either. So I'm gonna so when I hit the green button on the bottom that says share screen, if you've got that in English, then a big window comes up, and at the bottom left-hand corner it says share sound. So I always have to click that before I I bring up the thing and I click on the thing I want to share, and that's this YouTube video. And then
Okay, yeah, see it. Yep.
I can make it big by hitting the full
Can you
screen
play
thing.
for-
Okay.
Is that too loud? I can make it softer.
Yeah, I turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, it was too loud. Do I have to be on a certain page on my phone, or do we have to be in a certain place so we can hear him and the music? Because I remember that was a problem for me before. In one of yours.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
I think, yeah.
Is that a good volume? Is that too soft?
Can you guys hear me okay, or is it too loud?
I hear you okay, but I don't know if you want to lower or whatever you say, Caleb.
The volume's too loud. The
Yeah, I
music is
think
too
the
loud.
mic's too loud. We might just have to abort that mission.
Is that better?
I think it's like one.
Oh, can you guys hear me enough then, or can we keep just plugging forward?
You went real quiet. I don't know why you went so
Yeah,
quiet.
okay. Maybe we'll just turn it off then.
I think maybe this doesn't work.
Okay. So
Yeah.
for future, if you do
Your
this,
volume is way down. But oh, you know why? Because I'm the host and I turn my volume down, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna turn that other thing off.
Too loud.
It was still too loud though. The music was too loud.
Okay, so I'm gonna just get rid of this idea. Okay, I'm making you host again, Caleb. That was an
Okay.
exploration.
Well, thanks for giving it a try. I definitely learned a thing or two. All right. So, okay, so sound's obviously important, but maybe we do this later in your own time. You can put something on and kind of just go through it again. So we're just going to kind of run through it and see how it goes for us. But okay, so the sixth principle is the conscious emotional expression. So that's basically everything that we're going to be feeling here. It's just integrating it. It's going to be all these past steps, the past four principles that we talked about, this kind of just integrating it all, kind of just observing it, what's happening inside of us. And then the sixth principle is going to be meditation, which is basically using it to bring all your experiences together and just looking at it from a non-judgmental space. It's just like, this is just, emotions that are rising in my body, energy that's rising in my body, and just observing it, just seeing it for what it is. So signs, this is actually another thing that was super interesting to me, is like signs of released trauma. So like a lot of times in this work, I guess there's a lot of like tremoring that happens, like actual shaking of the body. That really just means that there's energy being released. There's stored energy being released in your body. And a lot of times it'll be like changes in temperature, like hot or cold. It was like something that you had experience with Tumo, I think, Judith. Like, so that's like a really good sign that you're breaking through layers of things, like you're releasing trapped energy inside of yourself. Definitely like changes in temperature and emotions, like physical sensations and tinglings, like any type of like sensations coming up is a good sign that things are getting shook and loose and things are moving about. So watch for those little key notes inside your body as we go through this practice. So practice is pretty simple. We're going to jump into it right now. I know it's a lot of talking, so Thanks for bearing with me. So what you want to do is sit up straight with your eyes closed and just start breathing naturally. Just start breathing naturally and kind of just see where that's going inside of you. With your eyes closed, just breathing in and out, just calmly, just really noticing the breath as it's going in and out of your body, the natural feeling of the breath going in and out of your body. Kind of start just doing like almost like body scans, just feeling yourself internally. Like, what does it feel to breathe? How is this breathing going in and out? Noticing maybe if your exhalations are longer than your inhalations, noticing the flow of the breath. Maybe it's chattery, maybe it's constricted in some way. Just really noticing how you're breathing. Just really go into it and just really start to see, to feel what's happening inside of you as you're breathing like this. It's just naturally breathing. So just becoming more and more aware of how you're breathing. Noticing the natural process of your breath as it goes in and out. Noticing the movement of the breath in and out of the body. Now I want you to start breathing through your nose and out through your mouth. I'll make that more of a conscious objective. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice and natural. This is connected breathing we're doing here. So it's kind of like a half circle, like half of the circle is an inhale, half of the circle is the exhale. Half the circle is the inhale, half the circle is the exhale. You're making it completely circular. In and out, in and out. It's a good sign if you're yawning too. That means it's working. So there's no pause between the breath. It's just in and out, circular breathing into the nose, out through the mouth. Just following the natural flow of the breath. Just no break in the flow. Just keeping it natural. Keeping it just feeling nice and peaceful. Just watching your body from the inside, just watching your internal state. Kind of medium tempo. Inhaling and exhaling naturally. Okay, you start to move your spine a little bit from side to side, just a little bit of spinal undulation. Just kind of start feeling the energy as you're breathing this way. Kind of start moving a little bit, kind of feeling the energy getting going inside of your body. Just feeling the energy, moving just a little bit, not a lot, but you're moving from the inner to the outer as you're breathing, circular breathing, no stop, just in and out in a circular motion. Moving a little bit more, just kind of loosen it up a little bit. Okay, now start to breathe a little bit faster now. We'll increase it just the tempo just a little bit. Inhale and exhale, still circular, into the nose, out through the mouth. Just starting to speed it up a little bit. Still kind of moving your body a little bit, undulating a little bit, just shaking it loose a little bit. You're kind of just getting the energy flowing a little bit, getting things kind of loosened up inside. Inhaling and exhaling, keeping it circular. Okay, now you're breathing a bit faster now. Start to breathe a bit faster, so more of a tempo, just like little bigger inhales, bigger exhales. You start oxygenating your body more oxygen in and out, more oxygen in and out. You're feeling your body more energized now with this inhale and exhalation. More energy is moving. You're moving your body around a bit more oxygen coming in. You're feeling the energy in your body building now. Like you're starting to shake things loose a bit here now. It's like start to give this a bit more of an intention now. You're breathing and you're changing your body right now. You're getting the energy moving, you're getting the energy flowing, Like that's your intention. You're going for it a bit more now. You're getting things shaken loose. You get what you give. So the more you give to this, the more you're going to get out of it. You can keeping that spinal movement going, keeping moving about. Energy is moving. Energy is moving. Keep it going. Keep it going. Breathing. Big proper breaths in and out, into the nose, out to the mouth, breathing properly. Okay, good. Now start to slow it down. Start slowing it back down. You're winding it back down now. Winding it back down slowly, slowly slowing the breath down. Slower and slower. Slowing it back down. Slowing the undulations down, kind of just letting the waves subside now. Just letting the waves broken now. Now it's receding back to the ocean. Just letting everything just kind of settle back in now. Okay. And I want your exhalations to be twice as long as your inhalation. So if it's 3 seconds in, I want it to be 6 seconds out. So 3 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Just really just slow it down. Really just go into that peace state. Just really start to feel inside your body. Start to notice the experiences inside of your body, like actual physical sensations. Like what are you feeling in there? What physical sensations are coming up? Maybe any emotions. Don't get stuck on anything. Just feel, just like you're just observing a beautiful scene, like just observing what's happening inside of you. Just keep feeling and exploring as you're breathing nice and calmly and slowly. So you're actually in your parasympathetic nervous system right now. It's your rest and recovery mode. Body's literally recovering and just healing from experiences it's had in the past, from just life in general. You're healing and recovering right now. Just observing your inner state, observing the life that you are. Just place your hand on your heart and on your belly. And I want you to feel the connectedness between these two places as you breathe. So feel how you breathe into your abdomen and up into your chest. Feel the sensations in both these areas. Feelings that arise, any sensations you're feeling. Feel the connectedness of these two areas. That maybe that feels like a wave as the air is entering your abdomen and up into your chest and back into your chest and down your abdomen. Just feel it as they rise and subside like the tide in the ocean, just up and down. Just feeling sensations, just feeling fully. You guys are doing great. Now, open your eyes. You can scan your environment. Just look around. Maybe notice things that remind you of safety or love or peace, or joy. Something beautiful in your environment. Maybe a picture or photo of someone you love or someone you love. And just feel that feeling of peace and love and calm that come from that. And just keep continuing to scan your body, even with your eyes open, just feeling everything that you're present to right now inside of yourself. Well, another interesting one, eh? How was that? Any any positive feedback? Any feedback at all? All good? Sweet. Yeah, so I really like that one. It's very calming, I feel like, but it's also like it definitely feels there's a lot of power in it. Really reminded me of Tumo, how it's kind of like you're getting you're activating your sympathetic nervous system, you're activating that fight or flight, but then you're using that energy to just dive into yourself, dive into your psyche and your subconscious, and just really look around there and see what's coming up for you. So I got one more little breathing exercise I'd like to do. It's kind of on the same genre of things. This is actually one I came up with on Thanksgiving. Like, it was kind of like just like a, I don't know, it's like a, I feel like it was kind of a bit of a love download I got. It's kind of a short, easy one, but it's an interesting one. It's basically just about generating love and gratitude, like we're talking about. So with your eyes closed, same way, sitting up straight. I want you to start breathing like it's like this relaxing sigh of relief, just like just blowing, like make an audible sound of a sigh of relief and gratitude as you're exhaling. So you're going to inhale through your nose, and you're going to exhale with a sigh of gratitude, and like literally feel that gratitude. Think of something that you're grateful for as you're sighing. So you're going to inhale through the nose and then sigh with gratitude out through your mouth. So in through your nose, sigh of gratitude. Sigh gratitude for the CO2 that you're expelling from your body, that which no longer serves you. Just saying thank you to what no longer serves you and expelling it from your body. So inhaling through your nose, into your abdomen, up into your chest, and out through your mouth with a sigh of relief. Giving thanks to this sea of oxygen that you're breathing in. Giving thanks to this life that you are. Breathing into your abdomen, up into your chest, and then out with a sigh of relief. Just going slower and deeper with it. It's going slower and deeper as you breathe. Just feel that relaxation, just relaxing your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your back, your pelvis, all the muscles in your stomach and lower back, just fully relaxing your whole body. Just so much gratitude just to be breathing, just to be alive. What a gift. Just feel that relaxation just flow all the way throughout your body, all the way down from your head, through your chest, through your stomach, all the way down to your toes. Just feel that relaxation just taking you over. It's nice and slow. And I want you to place your fingers on your pulse, whether it's in your neck or your wrist, and start counting out 7 beats per breath. So seven beats per inhale, 7 beats per exhale. So that's going to be how you're going to be timing it. So nice, slow, deep breaths, nice, slow, deep exhales, all the way in, all the way out. Once again, you're just connecting with this life that you are. You're connecting with your heart. You're connecting with your breath. You're connecting with your life energy. Just so grateful for your bodily functions is working in absolute perfection right now. Just feeling everything fully. Just gratitude for this moment, for this breath, for the beating of your heart. Just feeling the blood flowing through your veins, feeling the beating of your beautiful heart. Now I want you to think of something or someone that you love or you're grateful for, and just really visualize that as best as you can. See it in all the detail. Maybe whatever feelings arise around that, just go into it fully. I want you to see that with all the intention right now. Just really feel the love that comes from that vision that you're holding right now. Just feel that love and gratitude inside your heart. Just feel it just expanding, like the air is expanding inside of your lungs. That love, just gratitude, is expanding inside of you. Just keeps growing more and more with each breath you're taking. It's expanding your entire body, entire soul with this life-giving love. Right now, I want you to place your hand on your heart now, keeping that same rhythm of breath, just feeling that love. And just start to slowly, just in circular motions, just caress yourself in your heart. Just feel that love. Just feel that love inside of you. Just give that love to yourself right now. Just bask in the beauty of that love. Just feel it as intensely as you possibly can. Just nice, soft, circular motions. Just send it back to yourself. This is the life. This is the love that you are. Just love yourself. Just give that love to yourself now. Now, keeping your hand on your heart, just continue to caress your heart. I just want you to send that love back out into the world. Send it back out to every person you know. Send it back out to every person you've never met. Send it back out to every single person on this planet. Send it back to God or the universe or source or whatever you want to call it. Just send it back out. You are the source of that love. It never stops. You have an abundant supply. You just keep on sending it out. You just keep on sending it out to every single person on this planet. Now send it out to all of creation. Everything that's manifested or is yet to manifest. Just keep sending it out, sending it out. So much abundance of love flowing from your one heart to all hearts. We are all one heart. We're all one love. Just want you to see that as an energetic field. It's an energetic field of possibility. It's the infinite source, oneness. This is the essence of who we are. From within, so without. There is no connection. There is no separation between you and all of it. You are one with it. That love that you feel is the same love I feel. It's the same love your friend feels next to you right now. It's the same love we all have inside of us. We're all one with it right now in this moment. The only moment that has ever existed, this moment. And now just feel all coming back into you. That love just becoming the focus of your conscious attention right here now in this physical being. When you feel ready, open your eyes. Well, how was that, everybody? Anybody like to share? It's coming
Yeah,
up for you?
I'll share. I don't know which one I liked better. They were both so beautiful. They were both so calming.
Awesome.
Just what really my soul and body and psyche and heart needed tonight. It was just this big, warm, rolling, loving embrace of breath and spirit. The first one, I could just really feel almost, if there was any sensation, I felt like there was an empty space inside of me, as like
Yeah.
that's what it felt like, emptiness, space, but not in an empty void way, but in a spacious way. And then this next one felt full, just like love was just full and flowing. And I just thank you so much for, I don't know if collectively us all doing it together across space and time just enhanced it, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. It definitely enhances it. I feel like anytime I've done like breath work like this in a group or a meditation in a group, it's like this accumulative power of our hearts coming together. Like it's a real thing. Science is figuring this out now. Like they've actually got machines now that can measure this. Like they got machines that can measure up to like, I think like 5 or 6 meters, but that's just like basically the strength of their machines. Like literally our hearts can be felt on the other side of the planet once you learn how to tune to it, I believe. So super powerful stuff when consciously focused. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I just like to share. I mean, when you said our heart at the other end, I actually felt like the whole earth is in the shape of heart.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it wasn't just to check, that wasn't the breathing techniques which are supposed to raise body temperature.
This one?
Yeah.
Actually it is. Yeah. When we activated a parasympathetic nervous system with that breathing exercise. When you slow your heart, when you slow your breathing down, you actually increase your body temperature. Yes. So
I felt it. It's so hot suddenly.
yeah, yeah.
I really felt it. I was yawning all the way through.
Yeah. That's a really good sign that you're shaking energy up or getting things moving. Like especially like you're starting to see temperature changes. That's definitely a really good sign that you're shaking free trapped energy, that you're getting things moving. So you did it. That was exactly what you're meant to be doing. So well done. Well done. You get an A plus.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, anybody else have anything else to share, or how are we feeling? Yeah, Noelle, go ahead.
It was just lovely. They were both just lovely. And I just, when you were just so naturally flowing with your guidance, and I think about your journey to feel like you could have a voice, it was so moving to me. I mean, you really, really are supposed to be doing this. It was such a gift that you got. Really, it's just it's the thing I didn't really feel like coming back.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I found my calling for sure. Like I'm beginning to like really find my voice. Like I've known I had a gift inside of me, and I think that's kind of why the ego had that tremendous fear of public speaking. It's because it knew that once I find my voice, like what was going to come out of me. So it's like yes, I'm feeling like I'm really starting to step into it now and just feeling my flow with it more. So thank you for that acknowledgement. I definitely take that to heart.
Good.
I would like to share something more. I just noticed something because I have for some years now the little inflammation in my joint on the foot. It's nothing major, but I noticed the difference when I eat some food which has some toxins, or it's not good for my system.
Yeah.
My body reacts exactly on that spot. The little big toe joint. It's not little. The big toe joint on the left foot. And after I just now realized, it's like, oh, let's check. It's like the inflammation from the dinner, which wasn't big, but I just felt it like it's gone.
Wow. Yep. So a lot of times,
inflammatory breathing.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of times, a lot of breath work, especially this type of breath work we just did, it's good for inflammation. It actually decreases inflammation. So once again, one of these superpowers that is our God-given right, literally we're born with it, is we start breathing properly, correctly, and we can literally reduce pain, anxiety, and stress, and all kinds of different things in our bodies. So yeah, it's a real deal.
I mean, if it does decrease inflammation, I can imagine we all have these kind of inflammatory processes in our blood veins. It's so. I mean, probably it's very beneficial to things we don't even see what's happening in our bodies.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that's why I made this pact with myself to like do this breathing work, at least one type of breath work a day, because the benefits, like I'm the healthiest I've ever been in my life, like spiritually, mentally, physically, everything. It's just like the more I do this breath work, the healthier I get, I feel like. It's just like I mean, I've had like a lot of lower back issues my whole life. And since I've been doing this breath work and like staying constant with my yoga and stuff, like I've had some pretty heavy like surf wipeout injuries, and just like I feel like I'm a kid again. Like I just feel like a rubber person again, because just like I feel so freaking healthy. I feel like I'm almost invincible. but I know it's because of all this breath work I've been doing, and just like, obviously eating healthy plays into that, you know, keeping a positive state of mind, keeping my stress down, like it all plays into it. But like breath work is a super powerful, easy tool to like keep yourself healthy all the time. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
Do
Kayla,
this.
thank you.
Sorry.
I want to echo Noelle's accolades. I said it when I first saw you too, that like the information very, very empowering, because yeah, we want to understand why, you know, why we're doing it. So the more we know why, or the more knowledge, the easier it is to choose, right? Like, this is what I can use here. This is what I can use there, how I know it works. And it's so soothing, safe, which you were talking at the beginning, and, you know, feeling safe is really key with trauma. So where you said, I didn't know about Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. I've had that book forever and have not read it. But in another parts work, like trauma parts work, where, you know, we come into the world hopefully whole. Some of us actually get fractured before we even enter, before we're birthed. And so a piece of us leaves our home, right, and steps over. That's why we do the breakthrough group. That course about calling those parts back. Talking about rabbits, like a rabbit gets chased, you know, to be a meal for like a coyote or something, and it makes it into its den, and it gets down into the deep part of the den, and then it just shakes and shivers. And I don't know if you've all experienced that, but I certainly have in my life quite a bit. This like shivery feeling where you're like, I'm not really cold, but oh my God, I can't stop shaking, like every ounce of my body's shaking. Or kids who are just, they get traumatized. So trauma doesn't have to be a big trauma. Every trauma is equal. The only difference is whether it stays in our system or gets released. And that's like a natural way that the rabbits do it, just like the ducks do it. We do it. I did some work the other day. I've done many different modalities to work through and get to these traumas, because they didn't occur before birth for me, and then continued, and they set in. And I just had one the other day too, where we have, it's like a breakthrough subconscious release. And through the awareness of it and journaling even, and talking to someone about it, it wasn't where I was reliving, it was just having witness and shaking the whole time. But then we tested, like muscle tested what the block was and the trauma, and it was like, it was cleared because I knew it was cleared. I felt it in my body. And another example of that is, I ride a bicycle, and I used to ride, like, you know, going down Laguna Canyon, 35 miles an hour in a group, crashed, sliding down the road. You know, I turned and looked at where I saw a car, grabbed my bike, came, you know, and I'm in shock, really, because you're just in shock and you're in action. Guys went and grabbed my bike, put the wheel in, fixed it all up and everything. It was like, are you kidding? I'm like, I'm fine, because that's a natural reaction when you're in shock. But then I went and rode 40 miles. So I had no trauma from that. There was no lasting effect because I rode that out physically. I physically moved that energy. And I know that riding, you surfing, I know that people have different things. That is, saves a life, right? To save your life. There are many modalities to it, but understanding it and being able to bring all of those together is really amazing. And I know I've said a lot there, but, and this, I'm so tired already today because I got up early, and I stayed up late and did some work, and got up early and did some work. And so I'm that perfect spot of tired, and I never see things in guided meditations. And I think I was just in that perfect spot of almost falling to sleep. So I did see a couple of very significant images, which is huge for me to be able to see it, be aware of it, not fully fall asleep. And one of the last ones I saw was myself with my pinky going like, come here, come here, come here. Like it was a part of me that was fractured that just called me in to have joy and fun. So like in such a peaceful and beautiful way, because I've done so much work through the trauma where it's so traumatic. And if you have seen me in those breakthrough groups, a lot of anger, energy, forcefulness, you know, defensiveness. And this was just calm. And oh, that love me. And used to horrible, horrible person. And I don't love me. So, oh, thank you. And I love you.
Awesome. Wow. Thanks for
Yeah.
that share. So yeah, I got a couple things for you. So yeah, like it's so important, I think, to know what we're doing and why we're doing it, because we are conscious creators. And where we put our attention, we do something with intention and we know why we're doing it, we know what's happening inside of us when we're doing it on a physiological level and everything, it becomes so much more powerful. It's not just like a wishy-washy thought. It's like, no, I know what's happening. I know why I'm doing it. And this is why I'm doing it. And it gives it so much more power, so much more momentum behind it. And then, yeah, and also like doing it in the community, in a group setting like we just did. And one other thing, oh yeah, the thing with your pinky, that was kind of interesting because, yeah, in Chinese medicine, the heart chakra, the heart center, like it's like it starts at the heart and it goes all the way down the arm to your pinky. And that's like when you're having your pinky like calling you back in, calling you back to love. It's like naturally every heart just wants to love and express and just give love and receive love back in. That's what was happening. I think your love was calling you back home. That's how I interpret that, what just happened.
Because that's what one thing about knowing, but also right, having the awareness of our breath, or like there's so much distraction and such deep trauma. Really, it affects every part of your life. Every emotion. So you have to, and that just that is a movie, but that's what
yeah, you're cutting out. I couldn't hear most of that. I don't know. Could you guys hear? You guys couldn't hear that either? Maybe turn your camera off, and could you repeat that? That sounded like some good stuff there.
You know what it was? I actually played a Spotify during it. It works really well. So I had Reiki music playing in the background,
Okay.
which because I started channeling Reiki at the beginning too. I don't remember what I said. Just the awareness, having the awareness, right? Like I wasn't like I have access, I have knowledge, I've done these things, I do Kundalini, I know that each finger represents something, I understand the auras, but sometimes I'm so like just in that moment of seeing me, right? Like seeing me and knowing it was an older me as well, that was really big gap in my life. And then just that was interesting. Like I can't even do it the way she did it because it was so smooth, she being me, but I knew it was me. And so what I'm saying is just being in a group, the greatness of, other people's perspective and seeing things, offering something that maybe we couldn't see because I wouldn't have thought of, I don't know if I would have thought of that because I would have just basked in the excitement and joy and peacefulness of where I was at all. So, and then what I saw a couple other things too, because actually in the first one I saw my sister-in-law who was overpowering, saw her young. It was a saw her, but it was just
You're cut out again, Tina. Can't hear you.
Tibetan child, something.
There you are. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, it's not working.
All good.
Sounds pretty exciting, Tina.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're sharing. Wish we could have heard it all, but anyway.
Yeah.
We need to cut out on this end too. So
Okay. Awesome.
Maybe-
I think,
so much, Caleb. One quick question about
of course.
Sonia and anybody connecting that wants to, should they email you or friend you on Facebook so you can message them, or
Yeah,
get the
friend
name-
me on Facebook and or email me, either one, and I'll put you on the messenger link That way you have access to all these videos and all this stuff we're doing and kind of
Yeah.
catch up. And yeah, so happy to have you guys tonight. That was awesome.
Thank you so much. It
Yes,
was
thank you.
revolutionary.
you.
Of course. My pleasure. Thank you guys. You have a wonderful night, huh?
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Of course, Tina, have a great night. Thank you.
Bye.
Eureka.